So where was I on September 11th? I remember walking to my history class. I remember very vividly my history teacher, Mr. Black. We were going to the portables because they didn't have enough room in the high school, so we were in these trailers out by the golf course. It's kind of funny, our school could afford a golf course, but couldn't afford classroom facilities that didn't, include basically large trailers. But I was on the way, and I hadn't heard anything about it. The first plane had just hit. And I remember some students walking past me talking about it, and I was asking them, because I didn't realize, what was going on. And they said, a plane just hit the World Trade Center. And I thought they were just messing around with me, because I was part of the school newspaper, and, some people like to just kind of throw me stupid stories or whatever it is that they wanted to try and get printed. But they were saying, no, it's really happening. So, I didn't exactly think that they were true, so I came into the history room, and everyone was there already, just watching the television. They were reporting on the first plane crash, and of course the second one hit as well. And then they pulled the plug on the TV in our school. The whole school. Perhaps the whole county. I can't remember the details, but I remember that we were the only area of the country where that happened. The superintendent had a meeting with all of the principals of the schools and said, don't let these people watch it. They didn't want us to see the news. And the motives are, well, they were described later on as meaning that they didn't want us to see it in case we had family working up there. But everyone was in an uproar because that was, basically keeping us in the dark about news events. We already knew it happened. Seeing the news and watching that happen just to make sure that, if there were anybody, God forbid, that we knew over there, maybe we would know they were okay or not. But we couldn't see that. So for the rest of the day, we were wandering around just wondering why we couldn't watch the television. Why we couldn't see what was going on. Why we couldn't understand what happened or why it happened. All we knew were that a couple of planes hit the World Trade Center. I remember Mr. Black, our history teacher, he was outraged. He said this was history. This was history being made, and we couldn't see it and couldn't understand it, and that we were being held back from seeing things as they were happening. And I remember just being in a daze the rest of the day just because I couldn't believe that it had happened. I had never seen something like that in my life, in films or TV. It's just not something that even crosses your mind. But to see it on the news and to know it's really happening it messed with my head. So that's where I was on September 11th. I'll never forget.